Yo, 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 what's up, wrestling fans? It's your boy E here with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. Hope you guys didn't miss me too much. I missed y'all, of course, 110%, absolutely like all the time. So we have a pretty awesome show for you guys lined up, but I just want to remind you guys that this is like a back and forth kind of thing. I would love to see kind of the audience and you guys just talk to me, man. Use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net with your questions. Of course, I know some of you may be shy, but dude, it's all good, man. We're all wrestling fans. We're part of the wrestling family. So, hey, remember that communication barriers are absolutely open. No judgment here. We're wrestling fans. We're family. We're love. We're everything. So, thank you for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today lined up. We're going to talk about our WWE NXT Spring Breakin Week 2 preview. We're also going to talk about our AEW Dynamite. I don't know. Ever since I found out that AEW had a Dynasty pay-per-view, it's like I want to say Dynamite. It's like Dynasty, Dynamite, Dynasty. Like I don't know. Just it just messes with me, man. Just messes with me. So let's fix that. Let's do that. Let's slowly but surely we'll get it done. Absolutely, 110%. So we're gonna focus on some AEW Dynamite preview. We're also gonna focus on, lately, I guess The Rock is going to have a docu series on why WCW failed. I thought that I would just kind of lay it all out for you guys so you don't have to, bother watching Dwayne The Rock Johnson like through this documentary. That's probably gonna not be that subjective because of course it's fathered under WWE circumstances. But I'm gonna basically give you guys the guidelines of why WCW really failed and what happened, how it like kind of started off as like a entertainment juggernaut and it kind of went down and ended the Monday Night Wars. Obviously, Vince McMahon purchasing Turner Television. So we're gonna talk about that. And fourth and finally, love hurts. Love hurts. Love. No, so we're going to talk about WWE romances in the past, like kind of like storylines, like Edge and Lita, also Matt and Lita and Edge, Lana and Rusev, or Lana Rusev and Dolph Ziggler, Lana Rusev and Bobby Lashley, like just things like that. Just romances in the past of WWE that either failed the other competitor and like kind of demise, kind of caused the demise of their professional career. And I don't know, we're just gonna get on into it. So, but before we start any of that, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link. We get a number of questions that come in during the show from viewers like you, and so to ensure that your question gets read on air, I ask you guys to use this link at the GSMC podcast.net with your questions. This puts your questions up on top so I can see it. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you want to talk about as the audience member. Audience is key. You guys hold the key to stardom. So I need you guys. I need you guys to talk to me. Use that link. Let's talk about wrestling. Let's talk about just things in general that you guys want to talk about. We're a family. Like I said before, wrestling fans are a different kind of breed. Obviously, if you guys have been watching this podcast by now and haven't discovered that this guy's weird as hell, then you're missing the point. Just kidding. No, like I said before, wrestling fans, they're their own breed. And so, yeah, use the tips and donations link at the GSMC podcast.net with your questions. So let's go ahead and jump right on into it before we run out of time, which I tend to do in my shows. I'm sorry, I apologize. But we have our WWE NXT Spring Breakin Week 2 review. So it all started off with the new WWE NXT World Champion Trick Williams coming into the fray, basically kind of hungry to find out who is his next competitor. You saw a metaphor kind of come out and ultimately like kind of kind of, you saw Lash, and honestly, I didn't know exactly why she kind of came out. She had an envelope deciding I kind of feel like that's going to be the next competitor for Trick Williams' NXT Championship. Trick Williams, as soon as he came out, um, honestly, the way he came out in WWE NXT, this show, I really honestly kind of appreciated the fact that he was able to, kind of tell Ilya Dragunov that, bro, I'm not better in this company without you. And I thought that was pretty cool. Honestly, I thought 1010% that I was like, man, like you can tell that these superstars genuinely kind of care about each other because, like I said before, in NXT, it's not like Monday Night Raw, it's not like SmackDown, it's not like AEW. These stars are constantly in the same fray, in the same picture, constantly traveling together, and it's like essentially kind of like a college football team like that. Just you go through game together in your locker room. You found out your guys' weaknesses. You kind of found out your strengths, and ultimately you get called up to the big dogs, Raw and SmackDown, and then you got to say kind of bye to these guys. You kind of have to say bye to your family that you made, on the road and stuff like that. So obviously that's kind of a big deal. I thought that was kind of cool how Trick Williams addressed that. But I don't know. It was crazy. He claimed that it's going to be the new Whoop That era, which is kind of cool because you have the Whoop That Trick and then Whoop That era. The fans started chanting and stuff like that. It was absolutely phenomenal, absolutely cool. As a wrestling fan, I like to see fans into it. I feel like the moment you kind of see fans kind of buy into that kayfabe, buy into that storyline, that promotion, you just can't help yourself. You just can't help yourself but to just kind of get drawn into it and just kind of root for whoever the fans are into it. And I think that's the reason why they continue to have these storylines kind of like surround their wrestling product in WWE, as opposed to AEW, which is kind of getting a little nitty gritty, but I don't want to feel like I'm picking on AEW, so we're gonna move on. So we had our NXT North American Championship between Obafemi and Ivar. Ultimately, it was a great match. Two big juggernauts going at it. It seemed like it was impossible to kind of find out who was going to come out the victor because at the same time, you kind of, you look at the superstars. I saw the superstars and I was like, you know what? I don't like Obafemi is just so dominant. He's just so dominant. I don't think anybody can dethrone this guy. But then you have Ivar who comes in from Raw. It's I kind of got that feeling from Ivar that it was kind of like a make it or break it kind of moment where he felt like he had to win or else he was going to go to Raw, which eventually happened. He's going to go to Raw, and I don't know what they're going to do with his singles career. I don't know if Eric the Viking Raider is cleared for competition. I know Valhalla, obviously Sarah Morgan, Eric's wife in the Viking Raiders. I know that I think she's been announced pregnant, so she's probably going to take some time off too. So you kind of just leave Ivar all by himself in that world of wrestling. Honestly, it would have been better for him to win the title tonight. I felt like if you saw Ivar coming into WWE NXT frequently, and then all of a sudden you kind of have him losing against Obafemi, which is kind of cool. But then you saw Wesley returning. Like, why couldn't you just have Ivar win the championship, and then on the first ever WWE NXT episode, come out, address the NXT universe, and then Wesley makes his return back. At that time, I felt like that would have been super awesome. I felt like that would have been better booking, but like I said, I'm a Paul Levesque kind of guy, so let's trust the system. Let's trust this process that Triple H is taking us into. Hopefully, obviously y'all are watching this. You guys are all wrestling fans, and you guys know when it comes to crappy, shiitake mushrooms, bookings, and just wrestling in general. We all can see through that. We all can see that. We're not dumb. We're not that fish in the lake. You have the bait and the cheese. Someone fishing like, ooh, let's catch these guys, and we're like, want to hear that bitch of just but we're not just those. We're not those guys. We're not those guys. We are people who demand entertainment. We demand promotion. We demand wrestlers that actually give a damn about the company, and most importantly, we demand things that just make sense. Things that just make sense. Sometimes people like to throw this and that and the other, like, let's just let's distract the entertainment product here, and like, let's just throw stars and stars and stars, and that's kind of the kind of a big problem why about the NBA right now, like with the whole super teams, with you had Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and then all, hey, let's sign Kevin Durant, and then Kevin Durant goes to the Brooklyn Nets. Hey, let's just throw some stars. Bam, Kyrie Irving. Ooh, who's next? You know what? Let's put James Harden in there. And you know what? Eventually we'll put Ben Simmons in there. Great idea. Absolutely panned out well for them. How many championships do they have? Oh, yeah, that's right. None. I'm not trying to be harsh. Not trying to be harsh at all. But a lot of the times, and that's kind of all this is kind of like about it kind of segued into why WCW, AEW, TNA, and Ring of Honor kind of have these reasons why they never really kind of made it up, is that they want to get that top signed guy. They want to have that guy, and make it make sense, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Honestly, guys, if you want to brandish, if you kind of want, not kind of want, if you want to have a product like WWE to kind of help propel your organization into success, into superstardom, you kind of need things to make sense. And with that comes young superstars. Young superstars are the lifeblood of any wrestling industry, like what I'm going to talk about in WCW in segment 3, and kind of like what you see. Oh man, I know this isn't a sports podcast. Well, wrestling is sports, but the NBA with the Lakers and stuff like that. Obviously, the reason why the Lakers never really made it up to the way they were going to is that LeBron James. It's all LeBron James's fault. I know a lot of you guys claim that, oh, I love LeBron, and I do love LeBron, absolutely. But ultimately, he brought in a bunch of new old guys. He didn't want to play with any other new blood. You saw Lonzo Ball go out. You saw Kyle Kuzma, Caruso, and like just name after Ingram. And like, dude, it gets to the point where like you have to respect the process of the young superstars kind of coming up, because like in football, like when you draft a new quarterback, these guys are going to take your place, ultimately taking your, kind of your spot. And it sucks. I know it sucks. Like, I know that's the reason why kind of Aaron Rodgers was a little pissed off, but we're not, let's just move on. Let's just move on from sports. This is a wrestling podcast, so let's talk about wrestling. So let's move on to NXT. Sorry, you guys. Like I said before, Wesley returns. He was the Ultimate North American champion before he left, and he's going to challenge Obafemi. Um, I don't know if he's gonna do it at Backlash. I doubt it. I doubt they're gonna have any kind of a, wrestling pay-per-view at Backlash. But ultimately, I feel like I don't know. It's just when he returned, everybody was into it. The crowd was into it. Kayfabe was like at its best. So honestly, I feel like that's the way they should go, which is ultimately great for the company. So which is pretty cool. Next, you have Thea Hale finally getting her hands on JC Jane. I know I keep going over this week after week after week. I thought it was pretty cool how it ended. She ended up winning. She got the victory, but ultimately, like, she attacked part of AU University, which kind of sucked because you were like hoping as a fan, you're like, okay, cool, finally you finish this chapter of um of JC Jane, and then all of a sudden, like, you start this new chapter of just like camaraderie that it's just like absolutely bananas. And you're like, why is this happening? Like, why? Like, but that's why WWE makes its money, right? It causes wrestling fans like me to go berserk, to kind of be like, nah. But honestly, that's the product is working, obviously. Like we're talking right now, and that's the product is working. So, and also we're gonna move on. We have the OC fighting Tyson and Tyree. They got the victory, and I gotta be honest, I was kind of hoping that the OC, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, kind of were able to pick up this victory, mostly because these guys are new guys, and it's cool to see new guys being propelled. But if it's like a known if it's like a known kind of like a debut, kind of like a debut. Not that debuts are like bad and they should be absolutely lost at all times, at all costs. But I don't know. I saw the OC get drafted to WWE Raw, and the moment I kind of saw that, and I was like, I don't know why, but I kind of saw the OC being drafted to Raw, and I was like, well, there goes their careers. Like I was like, I don't know. I felt like maybe they should have been drafted. I know the rosters are locked until May 6th, but honestly, I want to see better from the OC. I feel like they can hold a title. I feel like they can maintain kind of like a tag team division in either NXT. Obviously, they tried to do it on Raw and SmackDown, but I don't know. I feel like if they're not on NXT killing it, I feel like then they're not going to kill it anywhere else, which is a damn shame because I love, Gallows and Anderson. So, that's just my, what is it? The subjective feelings, so to speak. So, next we have the AOP, which is also going to try to win tonight for the tag team titles against Frazier and Axiom. Ultimately, didn't end up the way they kind of wanted it to. It kind of sucked, but at the same time, um, I don't know. I thought that they were going to win. I thought they were going to win. I thought AOP was going to be the next next dominant tag team title holders in the NXT, but ultimately Nathan Frazier and Axiom did what they had to do. You saw Karrion Cross and you saw Scarlett get involved, and then the referee like tossed them out. They're like, "Hey, you're out of here!" Like, and then it was like, "Oh my god!" Like that just opened up a whole bunch of just, and then and then you saw Pete Dunne, Tyler Bates come in the New Catch Republic, help Axiom and Frazier, and it was just totally awesome, an absolutely awesome match. And ultimately, Frazier and Axiom, they retained the NXT World Tag Team titles, which I kind of thought they would because I felt like if they dropped it to AOP, yeah, it's cool and all. You have AOP coming back. They were a dominant NXT Tag Team Championships before they made it to the main roster. And I know Azar and who's the other guy? This is gonna bother me. But the two guys basically kind of had like they were injury prone. They were like the Mike Trouts of WWE NXT. So ultimately, super cool. Frazier and Axiom kind of did it. So throwing flowers. Let's throw flowers. Everybody, come on, come on. Round of applause. Yes, yes, round of applause. Let's go, baby. Absolutely. I thought they were going to lose, but they pulled it off. They did it, and we're here talking about them. So yeah. So next we have the battleground match. Natalia ultimately got distracted from her opponent Lola Vice, and it was just all it was just all bad from there. All bad from there. Usually, when a competitor gets distracted from the other one's manager, that just means bad things are going to happen. No, it's just like that's just wrestling 101. If you guys don't get that right now, you're not wrestling fans. But I felt like it was a good match. It was a good match. I liked how they kind of did the underground thing where they had the superstars surround the ring, kind of just kind of something new, kind of just something different, kind of just something that wrestling fans can be like, okay, you know, we can't really predict what's going to happen, and that's the reason unpredictability is obviously, if I haven't taught you guys by now, the best recipe for success in terms of any wrestling promotion. So I thought that was pretty cool. You saw Sean Spears being defeated by Ridge Holland. Rich Holland ultimately was kind of going back to that like old ruthless kind of guy. Sean Spears kind of represented his, kind of like his demons, so to speak. So he was able to beat them. Pretty awesome. And just like a quick little thing before we kind of end the segment because we kind of ran out of time. That Roxanne Perez is going to fight Chelsea Green next week for the WWE NXT World Championship. I don't know if this is going to be kind of like a passing of the torch because Chelsea Green, I feel like she has a lot of talent. I feel like she does have a lot of talent, and if she can beat Roxanne Perez, I feel like she can be really well on the Raw or SmackDown roster. So honestly, I'm kind of open to whatever they're trying to do here, but I just hope that Paul Levesque knows what he's doing, and ultimately, does it for the good of the people. All right, well, don't go anywhere. We are rapidly running. It's already 8:23. Like, what the hell, guys? Like, what's going on? Hope you guys are enjoying NXT right now, happening on the USA Network. I can't wait to watch. No, not NXT. Oh no, AEW. Sorry. I don't know why I feel like I'm in a time machine and it's WWE NXT. You saw, Doc Brown, and sorry guys, my rambling is just adding on to this, time running out. So, hey, don't go anywhere. We have our AEW Dynamite preview. So, hey, let's do it.